Hey, on this episode of Reestablishment, who doesn't like music? You ever thought about that? I've been across the whole world and I've never met anybody that doesn't like music. However, there's about 3 to 5% of our population in the world that can enjoy music for different neurological reasons. But I want to talk today about music. Have you ever thought about how music affects you, your day, your daily life? We're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about if you change music and what you listen to, how can it affect your life? So that's kind of the topic here today. And I'm not the expert, so I've been a musician my whole life. But I'm excited about this because we brought in the expert, and his name is Mr. Derrick Williams. Derrick is a very accomplished pianist, vocal coach. He has the Gospel Voice television show, and he was the original rabbi on the Rockin' the Rabbi off Broadway. And not only that, but he's a good friend of mine. Derrick, welcome to the podcast today.
Oh, thank you.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So what I want to talk about is when you were young, how did you start into music? Like what got you going?
Well, my mom, my dad, everybody was in church. We came up in the church. It was like everybody in the church plays. And my mom was the director, and just being under her, she used to put me in time out all the time because I was so hyperactive at that time. And so by being in time out, I was able to just analyze all the music that was going on, the different artists, from the ones that can sing well with the falsetto to the ones who had the low voice, to the women who sing soprano, to the ones who sing altos. I used to love the alto sound. And they sung from gospel to secular music. And so I had that experience.
So what's your favorite genre?
My favorite genre is gospel music.
Okay. But you like a little Motown.
Yes, yeah.
Little this, little that.
Yeah.
So when you were practicing, how many hours a day did you spend?
Well, I practiced before I was 26, maybe 5 hours a day. But when I got serious about playing, I was going into 15 hours a day, 10 in the morning, and when I got home after work, I practiced until I just got tired. But during that time, we had a lot of inspiration to practice, a lot of people to emulate back then, and a lot of.
Did you take formal lessons?
I took some.
Okay.
I took some in college. The college that I did, I took some lessons, but most of mine was because we grew up in a Baptist church and like everybody played. I learned from my surrounding musicians, and then when I went into the military, I took a little bit more theory.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about that for a minute, can we?
Yeah.
So a lot of music we hear, if you're happy, you're going to do some of your major chords and some of your major runs. Play a little bit of that. Yeah. All the way down to like funeral music.
Yeah.
So when you got funeral music that soothes the soul, you get a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
How about some Motown for us? What do you got?
Okay. How about Papa was a rolling stone.
There you go.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. But when he died, all he left alone.
See? So even when you sing, watch your facial expression change with each type of music you play. And really, tell us what we're talking about in Reestablishment. You know, how do we take the basics around our world, and we know that music is amoral, correct?
Yes.
But it's how we use it. Yeah. And a lot of times I think we go about our busy lives and we listen to music on the radio that kind of tickles our ear. I'll give you an example. My daughter can irritate me when we get in the car. She will take over the radio.
Oh, yeah.
And she will push the buttons or flip the switches or whatever is there, and we'll go through every station in like 20 seconds. And so I'm listening to this whole different bouquet of music until she finds one that tickles the ear, and she'll land on that one. And I think that's so interesting in our lives, how music can play such a role.
Yes. Emotions.
Yeah, so I know that a lot of times before I go to work, I'll listen to a certain music in the morning.
Yes.
When I get up, something bright,
Yes.
something happy.
Yeah.
I know at nighttime we want to hear something that's kind of soothing or whatever. But actual music, it's so important in our daily lives. And I think a lot of times we let music in that may not be the best for us.
That's right. That's right.
You know, how do you, as a performer, right? How do you choose your music, and how do you choose what you're going to play?
First of all, this has to be according to my values. I don't want to project the wrong thing when I perform. And a lot of music you could perform the wrong message, and then when you get through, you get a lot of people that come up to you that likes that message. And but when you in the venues that I play in, I'm able to play the secular music, but then I slip into some gospel music, and the people who recognize the song, like if I'm doing Breathe, I play Breathe, and somebody recognize that, they'll actually clap afterwards. All the secular music everybody knows, you know.
Right.
So it depends on what gravity you want to take that secular music to. If you want to take it to what it's advocating, sometimes it advocates, well, a lot of times it advocates sex. If you want to do that type of music, and the young people usually just thrive on that. If I do some 50 Cent, oh my goodness, they up dancing, boy, they up dancing. But if I do Margaritaville, the tips are greater because the older people can relate to that. If I do reggae, it's a different feel. It's different feel, the kind of people that comes out. It's like I see a lot of people with dreads or something, you know.
So as a performer, do you ever look at people's body language?
Yes.
When you're performing? And do you ever see the changes in them?
Yes.
As you play?
You know, I have to be careful with that, because if I'm doing a ballad, you cannot look at a woman straight in the eyes doing that ballad, and you're going to have some issues after you get through singing that, you know. And so I tend to kind of like just look up in the air if I'm singing some Luther Vandross or something like that. You look more at the people if you're doing dance music. If I'm doing some dance music, you can look at, because you're trying to get them to get engaged to dance. Yeah. But the emotions that you give people just from the person who's rendering, you set the whole tone. I can set the tone if I'm singing Louis Armstrong, Jimmy Buffett. It sets a different dimension in your audience, and you have to be able to feel the audience to give them what they want. Because I'm a believer, I give them some gospel music or something like that, and they really don't understand it unless I'm a person who knows that song.
Right.
So
do you notice them change?
Oh, it's a change.
So when you start playing that music, is there a change in their behavior?
Yes. If you do some prayers, you're going to see some changes.
You'll see a calming effect sometimes?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's so good that we could talk about this, because music encapsulates everything. You know, if you listen to any kind of advertisement, they have what we call a music bed.
That's right.
That plays underneath it.
That's
and
right.
A lot of times you don't pay attention to it, but subconsciously you are.
That's right.
You're listening, whether it's for cereal or whether it's for tires or whatever. But music does have a huge impact on all of our lives. So I think it's very important that we understand the effect it could have. How do we use that to our benefit? And how can it make us better at what we do? Here at Reestablishment, you know, our goal is to take those basic things that maybe we've forgotten, we've left, and come back to those that make us as a good and a whole person.
That's right.
And one thing I'll tell you today, if you're listening to this podcast, is Derrick is the one that wrote the music for the podcast. So he's great, creates all kinds of music on his own. He just doesn't play others, but God's given him such a creative mind that he can write and record. You know, if you ever want to see him, check out the Christian Television Network, The Gospel Voice. Go to ctnonline.com. Check out the times in your local area. However that you watch your media, and just Google Gospel Voice, and you'll see Derrick. Derrick, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us on this podcast. We'll see you next time.
Raise your hands up. Raise it up. Reestablishment. We've got the complete. Let's talk. This episode is brought to you by Soul Fit Retreats. Soul Fit Retreats are life-changing experiences for the mind, body, and spirit. Each retreat is a unique combination of faith, health, fitness, and fun. Join the welcoming community for a journey that will empower you, encourage you, and challenge you to become the best version of yourself. Visit soulfitretreats.com today.